A homeowner fights for his life when two intruders break into his home. His girlfriend hides in the closet to call 911.
Hurricane Maria has maintained its Category 5 status. It has already devastated some islands, and it's heading right toward Puerto Rico. I will have the very latest just ahead.
Plus, President Trump addresses the United Nations, but not without some incendiary comments.
The Iran deal was one of the worst and most one-sided transactions the United States has ever entered into. Frankly, that deal is an embarrassment to the United States.
Those statements coming after the Iranian president said that America will pay a, quote, high cost if President Trump scraps the deal. But his scathing indictment didn't stop with Iran. He also commented on the North Korean regime.
Local 4 News begins right now with a breaking news alert.
Breaking news right now. The trial against 6 people accused in the female genital mutilation investigation continues in court. Just minutes ago, we learned that Dr. Jumana Nagarwala, the doctor who was charged with performing the procedures, will be released. The judge has accepted an surety bond from Dr. Nagarwala of $4.5 million, which was raised by family and friends. By doing this, the doctor from Livonia has waived her rights to extradition. The pretrial is still going on right now. We are waiting to learn the fate of the other 6 people charged in connection with this case. We'll update the breaking news as soon as more information comes in. Meantime, topping our news at this hour, an early morning home invasion turns into an all-out brawl when the homeowner defends his home. That homeowner now recovering at the hospital with broken bones. Now, police are on the hunt for the 2 armed intruders. Paula Tutman joins us with the very latest. And Paula, I understand there were 2 people in the home at the time. One was the homeowner. Who was the second person?
The second person was his girlfriend. She actually lives in that house with him. They were asleep, and she describes a terrifying ordeal. Detroit police have been scouring the home in the 13,000 block of Bentler in Detroit's far west side, looking for clues about the 2 men who broke into this home and attacked one of the occupants.
Jumped through the window onto the bed and went into the hall.
This woman, whose identity we're concealing for her own protection, tells a harrowing story of surviving first the break-in and then the fight that ensued when her boyfriend tried to defend their home.
And I hid in the closet. And I heard him saying, "Where is she? Where'd she go?" And I was calling 911. I was hiding. I could just hear them fighting and things getting broke. And they hit him in the head with a gun. He's got a couple marks in the back of his head that are split open. He's got a broken nose, broken finger. He fought back.
All she knows is it was 2 men, brazen enough to break in while people were obviously inside. Now, I did talk to her just before we left that scene, and in fact, I was able to convince her to leave her home. She was concerned about leaving her dogs there, but listen, here's the thing. Those 2 men, they are still on the loose. That means she is still in danger. They are very dangerous. Obviously, police are still looking for them, likely looking for a man who's also injured with stab wounds, possibly even with a blade still in his stomach or somewhere in his body. Karen?
All right, very disturbing. Thank you very much, Paula. A very busy day here. Breaking news, the Detroit-Windsor Tunnel will be completely closed in the near future. Tunnel CEO Neil Belitsky says the closure will begin on October 20th at 8:30 in the evening. That closure is expected to last for 10 days and will be a part of the renovation worth over $20 million. Hurricane Maria has crippled Dominica as it churns towards Puerto Rico. But before we look at that damage, let's take a look at our local radar. It is lighting up at this hour. We saw Paula had that umbrella. So do we have any storms coming our way, Paul?
Yeah, hi, Karen. We are right now seeing the lightning go away, and actually, as this body of rain moves northward, notice, watch the northern edge. You're starting to see a little decay here. Now, it looks like we're going to, at least the southern areas south of 8 Mile, are going to get this good soaking rain, and then as we get north, maybe it'll be diminished a little bit, but we still have chances for showers and a few thunderstorms as we move through the afternoon. You see Monroe getting a good soaking rain right now, all the way up through southern Wayne County. So, showers and a scattered thunderstorm or two this afternoon. Nothing violent. Temperatures struggling to make it into the 70s for a high. So let's talk about Maria right now, and you can see this is a remarkable loop. If you didn't see it on Local 4 News today, I have to show you again. Look at the eye went right over the island of Dominica and also slammed the southern part of Guadalupe there. So a wider view just shows you the storm. It's actually a rather compact storm. It's just very powerful, and look where it's heading right toward Puerto Rico, which is right there. Now we have the Virgin Islands here, and this is the island of St. Croix right there, and look at the path. It's going to be either a Category 5 or a high-end Category 4 storm as it gets there. So let's real quickly zoom in here. I want to get real granular for you. Now notice this line here, this gray area, this is the cone of uncertainty as we call it. So we still have some wiggle room in terms of the path, but right now the best guess path in terms of taking the computer models is putting it right at San Juan and right over the island of St. Croix. So this is a very, very devastating situation for those areas. We will stay on top of it. We still have to talk about Hurricane Jose. We'll talk about that in our weekend forecast just ahead. Karen?
Meantime, the Prime Minister of the Caribbean island nation of Dominica says destruction from Hurricane Maria is mind-boggling, and Maria is now headed towards Puerto Rico. Maria roared past the eastern Caribbean islands of Martinique and Guadeloupe, as Paul just said, as a dangerous Category 5 storm. Puerto Rico endured damage from Hurricane Irma, but now Maria poses a greater threat.
Devastation it will cause might be unprecedented.
How important is it for you to get supplies today?
Extremely. I mean, there's no water anywhere. Can't find water, I can't find ice. It's pretty intense.
Irma knocked out electricity to 75% of Puerto Rico. 60,000 people are still in the dark, and now a potentially more powerful hurricane is closing in. Hurricane Jose is stirring up the waters on the Atlantic coast, creating potentially dangerous conditions along the Jersey Shore and Delaware beaches. Jose is not expected to make landfall in the U.S. However, millions along the eastern shores will feel its impact, including rain, high winds, and flash flooding. Jose is expected to weaken by Wednesday. Today, President Trump spoke to the United Nations General Assembly for the first time, and the world watched as he issued a warning to North Korea.
No one has shown more contempt for other nations and for the well-being of their own people than the depraved regime in North Korea. No nation on earth has an interest in seeing this band of criminals arm itself with nuclear weapons and missiles. The United States has great strength and patience, but if it is forced to defend itself or its allies, we will have no choice but to totally destroy North Korea.
The president also further defined his America First policy to the gathering of international leaders. Blaine Alexander reports from outside the United Nations in New York.
Taking center stage before a world audience, President Trump today delivering his first speech before the UN General Assembly.
We meet at a time of both immense promise and great peril.
Speaking before the group he once slammed as ineffective, President Trump called for UN members to work together but always act in the best interest of their own country.
As President of the United States, I will always put America first. The United States will forever be a great friend to the world, and especially to its allies. But we can no longer be taken advantage of or enter into a one-sided deal where the United States gets nothing in return.
And President Trump had this strong warning for North Korea.
The United States has great strength and patience, but if it is forced to defend itself or its allies, we will have no choice but to totally destroy North Korea. Rocket Man is on a suicide mission for himself and for his regime.
After his controversial threat to end the Iran nuclear deal, President Trump had this to say.
That deal is an embarrassment to the United States.
Another focus, eradicating terrorism.
We cannot allow it to tear up our nation and indeed to tear up the entire world.
President Trump laying out an American agenda on the world stage. Blaine Alexander, Local 4.
All right, thank you very much, Blaine. Meantime, data from the U.S. Census Bureau is showing today that Flint has the highest poverty rate of any U.S. city with 65,000 residents or more. Data from 2016 shows 45% of Flint residents live below the poverty line. The poverty rate for people under the age of 18 in Flint is 58%. By comparison, Detroit's poverty rate is 36% and 51% for childhood poverty. Troy has Michigan's lowest poverty rate among cities listed at 4%. Still to come at this hour, Dylan Roof, the white supremacist sentenced to death for murdering 9 African Americans in a South Carolina church, is back in the headlines today. A controversial move he's making that is rooted in racism. Plus, humanitarian disaster. The world's fastest growing refugee crisis is taking place in Myanmar. Why more than 400,000 people have fled the country.
Hi,
United Nations investigators say the exodus of minority Muslims from the South Asian country of Myanmar has the historic hallmarks of ethnic cleansing. Tens of thousands of the Muslims have fled to nearby Bangladesh after their villages were attacked by the military of Myanmar, which was once known as Burma. A human rights watchdog group is critical of Myanmar's leader, who has said the situation is not so severe.
The tactics they're using would be familiar to many other ethnic minorities in Burma, because this is the same thing they've done in the past. And so, you know, for her to sort of pitch these ideas that somehow she's informed that they have to behave, you know, it really doesn't pass the laugh test.
UN human rights officials continue to work with the government of Myanmar to gain access to the country to learn about the plight of the Rohingya firsthand. In other news at this hour, Dylan Roof, the white supremacist sentenced to death for murdering 9 African Americans in a South Carolina church back in 2015, he's asking for an appeals court to let him fire his attorneys because one is Jewish and the other is Indian. Roof is appealing his conviction and sentencing. He says the ethnicity of his lawyers is, quote, a barrier to effective communication. The former campaign manager for President Trump was the target of an FBI wiretap last year and early this year. That word comes in an exclusive report from CNN. It says Paul Manafort was put under court-approved surveillance because of consulting work he did for the former government of Ukraine. Investigators were also reportedly concerned about Manafort's possible communication with Russian operatives. Now, it is not known if any of the wiretap evidence included conversations between Manafort and President Trump before or after the election. Still to come, global warming and hurricanes has been a frequent topic of discussion these past few weeks. We'll break fact from fiction coming up. Hi, Paul.
Hi, Karen, and we're going to continue talking about the hurricanes. This one here is Maria. We also have to talk about Hurricane Jose. Yeah, it's still a hurricane. It's affecting the East Coast. We'll have that, plus a very summery week ahead. You're going to love if you love warm weather. We'll talk about it just ahead.
Don't let dust.
Well, thanks for joining us back here again. We're talking about hurricanes, and that topped the news at the top of the hour about all the hurricanes hitting the variety of islands. Harvey inundating Texas, Irma devastating parts of the Caribbean and Florida. Now we're centering our attention on Maria, Paul, and a lot of people are putting attention on this because topics of global warming. Many people say, you know, this is having an impact on the hurricane. Some people are disputing that. And I know you've done a lot of speaking engagements on this particular topic.
Yes, there's a lot of fake news out about this subject. So I do a lot of lectures about global warming. So let me give you some facts here. Now, first of all, global warming did not cause these hurricanes. They could have developed anyway. Now, some scientists, in fact, think that our warmer future actually might have fewer hurricanes. However, global warming is significantly warming up our oceans, so those hurricanes in the future that do form in otherwise favorable conditions will tend to be stronger because of the warmer ocean temperatures, Karen. So the coming decades could bring fewer but more intense hurricanes. So no, global warming did not cause these hurricanes.
But it is interesting lately with those two hurricane category 5s, it puts us on radar.
Yep, and Hurricane Harvey, remember, it strengthened very dramatically just before landfall. It went from a category 1 to a 4 in one day. So that's another one there. All right, let's talk about what's going on. This is Maria. We'll start there. This is the most catastrophic of the two hurricanes that we're dealing with right now. Went right over the island of Dominica last night, and now it's heading, look at this, just heading right there toward that big island known as Puerto Rico, and also St. Croix right ahead of it, and the Virgin Islands are there as well. So here's the path. Still a category 5 storm, 160-mile-per-hour winds with estimated gusts to 195 miles per hour. Think about that for a minute. So again, the path has it heading right toward where we just talked about, hitting either as a category 5 or a very high-end category 4 storm, and then continuing off to the northwest. There's no wind shear right now, so there's nothing to impede the development of this storm. And we also have very warm water temperatures. Look, this is bath water. Look at this, 86-degree water temperatures underneath this storm. So that's just fuel to the fire. While we're talking about water, keep in mind, look at this. These are wave heights. 15 to 30-foot wave heights right now associated with Maria. And again, on the right side, remember, it's a counterclockwise circulation. On the right side of that storm, that's where you get the storm surge, that dramatic push of water inland, and that is very destructive. Here's Jose, and yeah, it's still a hurricane, a minimal hurricane, 75-mile-an-hour winds just right near the center. But let me just bring in the computer model and show you what's going to happen. This thing is going to come up the coast, and the outer bands here are going to clip eastern Massachusetts. They are going to get tropical storm force conditions there, but then watch. It's just going to sit there and spin and spin and spin. It's going to weaken, but it's just going to kind of sit around there. So checking in with the observations right now along the coast there, you can see, oh, here's some wind gusts already at around 30 miles per hour. Now, as this thing moves north, some of those bands are going to get closer to eastern Massachusetts, and they will be seeing 40, 50, 60-mile-per-hour gusts. You know, it makes you just grateful we don't have to deal with that stuff here. So we're right now in the mid to upper 60s across the area, very light wind. And here's that rain that's been coming up across the area. Again, it's been showing a diminishing trend as we've moved through the past couple of hours, but hopefully all of us will get at least something out of it. It's been so dry. Now, the model is showing pockets of rain through the afternoon. It may not be that one wave that I just showed you on radar. It could be just some scattered showers and thunderstorms popping up later if you don't get one early on this afternoon. And then notice as we approach game time for the Tigers at Comerica Park, we start to diminish the stuff, and that diminishing trend will continue into the evening hours. So I think we'll play the game. In fact, I'm very confident we'll play the game tonight. The only question is, will there be a shower early on? So we'll kind of watch that for you. And don't forget, if you have our app, you can check the radar all afternoon if you're going to the game. 74 or so for the high. Some of us may struggle to get to 70 this afternoon, but regardless to say, it's going to be muggy out there, and again, scattered showers and thunderstorms. But then after this, if you like summer, man, you are going to be so happy. We developed some sunshine after clouds to start. We'll develop some sun tomorrow, 81 the high, 83 on Thursday, and look at this, Karen, mid-80s all the way through the weekend into actually next Tuesday with lots of sunshine in there too.
All right, some unbelievable temperatures there. Thank you, Paul. Still to come, you've heard of firefighters saving a cat from a tree, but some in California pulled off a very unusual but heroic rescue. We'll have that. Stay tuned.
100.3.
Well, a kitten found himself in a pretty tight situation, and it took a team of firefighters to get him out. When Stephen Moran stepped out of his car on Saturday morning, he was shocked when he heard some meowing.
Yep, a kitten was stuck in his engine. That's right, in the engine. And for 3 days, he tried to coax the animal out with no luck, and he finally called the fire department to help. The crew took the car apart Monday to rescue the little guy. The kitten was greasy but happy and healthy, and he was adopted by Stephen's next-door neighbor.
Good ending to the story. Well, thank you so much for being with us for Local 4 News at noon. Remember, Local 4 News and weather are always available 24 hours a day on clickondetroit.com. See you back here at 4 o'clock. Meantime, hope you have a great afternoon.